Hey, what's happening? Before we jump into the show, I wanted to see if you had any music on a hard drive. You have a band, you have a project, and you want to self-release your own music. Well, there's an easy way to do it. You can go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate and go get your music up on all the streamers. You keep 100% of your royalties, and you can get 30% off by using this code. It's a great, easy way to get your music up on the streamers and share it with your fans, your friends, your family, your mom, your dog, everybody. Everyone wants to hear it. But go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate, HYPHENATE, and send me the link. I want to hear it too. Send your mom the link. Send your dog the link. They all want to hear it too. What's happening? Welcome to Hyphenate Halftime with me, your host, Randy Randall. This is our show for Monday, May 19th. We're talking about last week's interview with Mr. Matt Cronk. But first, I have to bring in my co-host, the one and only Mr. Aaron Farley. How do you do today?
I'm doing well. I was excited to hear the conversation with Matt because I haven't talked to Matt in years, and and I actually don't think I knew the story of Quee. Like, I didn't know that they were both from Minneapolis. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, transplants.
I did not know that.
They've been part of the LA underground for so long. They're like the A-team. If you can find them, you can hire them.
Yes, and I loved how he described Paul. And I don't remember exactly how he did, but he was like, or just described Quee in general, of just this, like, they fit in, like they were a staple of LA underground. Like, you could go see Quee all the time.
Yeah. And
they played everywhere, and their shows were always great and weird and fun. But they also didn't quite fit in. Like, they were too weird to fit in with the heavy bands, and they were too heavy to fit in with the weird bands.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
And it was like this moment where you could see that frustration, because they're like, what they were doing was so unique to them. Like, they didn't sound like anybody.
No,
they sound like 2-person. But then Paul had like the Janet Jackson like mic that he would sing with.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I feel like they would run that through like a bunch of effects processors and stuff. But then he also had this really beautiful singing voice too.
Yeah.
So he'd sing these like really high, like, I don't know. I feel like for a while maybe they were doing like some Pink Floyd covers too during their sets.
I remember
I think it was, I want to say it was Pigs.
I could see that.
It was the da 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 dum dum dum. What song is that? Is it on Animals?
Oh man, I am not the Pink Floyd guy.
But they would pull that off, and you just be like, oh yeah, of course Quee is playing Pink Floyd, and it sounds unreal. It sounds amazing. Yeah, they're the best. I think the first time we ever played with Quee was at that skate shop that was what was his name?
Oh yeah.
Remember that skate shop that was like by Sunset Junction? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Virgil. Oh, his name's going to come to me. And so during the day it was a skate shop. And then at night, and it had like a little mini ramp in there. Mm-hmm. And then at night, they'd roll all the rolling racks out.
I just remember they filmed a Ben Harper music video there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What was that place called?
Callisto.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. That was Juvie. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a cool spot to see shows.
And we played with Quee there once. And I think that was the first time I ever saw them. And Matt had really long straight hair. And
way back.
And you're just sitting there going, what is this? These guys are amazing. Like it was so loud and so cool, and yeah, it was fun. And then at one point at Juvie, I broke my ankle on that mini ramp.
Ooh,
yeah,
brutal.
Yeah, not during the show,
but later.
Yes, later on some afternoon.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I mean, they were always so cool. And Matt always stood out. I think it was the glasses and kind of just his attitude. And, you'd remember, if you saw him once, you'd remember him. And,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But always very nice. I mean, there's a sense that I was like, oh man, maybe he was going to be scary or kind of a dick. But no, he was always so nice. And I liked
hey, man.
Yeah. No, it was very friendly.
Totally. Yeah. It's the best.
Yeah. So funny. I liked when we were talking that, that he remembered me being a kid coming into the Silver Lake guitar shop. And then just, asking a million questions. I was like, oh yeah, I was that guy. It's been a long time since I've been referred to as a kid. It's by anyone, but it was definitely on the younger side in those early days. Probably moved out to LA when I was 18 and definitely went to a million music shops and guitar shops and didn't have any money, but was willing to go bother somebody with questions about gear and wanting to learn more and like what was good, learn what was in there and what was affordable.
I liked the way that you explained that too. The guitar shop kid of like, at some point you have to be going in there and like at some point you have to spend some money.
You have to buy a pedal. So you have to buy some strings.
Like you have to start, you start with strings and picks.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, this kid, this
he's
is
a good
legitimate.
guy. He's not annoying, but
he might only literally have $10. So we're good. He's spending that $10 here.
Yeah.
And that's like his week's worth of ramen or whatever. And he's spending it here on strings. Like he could be going to Guitar Center and he's not. He's like, he's here.
Man. No, I was.
And then you're looking at the pedals and then you jump up to pedals. And then someday I'm going to buy a guitar from this place.
Yeah. Well, it was the kind of thing too, it's exactly right. Like I did not have enough money, to be buying gear, of any substance at that age. But I remember, for whatever it was, I appreciated the talk and, here's what I'm looking for. Here's kind of here's the bands I like. Here's what I'm playing. And, and I would take recommendations like, oh, you should check out this pedal. I'm like, okay. So when I had the $50 or the $75 to buy a used pedal, like, okay, cool. I'll try it out. And I loved it. There was, a couple, where I remember I got a full tone Fat Boost there, which was a great kind of like transparent, just, overdrive or not an overdrive, like a boost, like it just boosted the signal. So playing through that Model T that I had at the time, it was great for tube amps, just overdrive the tubes. And then I think I also got a the ZVEX Fuzz Factory there. So I remember those two, and that's just an insane, dentist drill of a fuzz pedal. It cuts through any mix and goes right into your brain. The ability to just focus a frequency that just drills into your brain. Like, ow! I love a pedal like that. And then eventually, I think I did buy when my main SG broke. Before I had like a white SG that I had from college, and the at a show it broke, and then I bought a Gibson L6S that I think the other guy at the guitar shop would just kind of repaired, that wasn't in great shape, but he got it up and working, and I think I got it for like, I don't know, $100 or $200.
What's an L6S? I don't even know what that is.
Gibson's L6S was a late 70s, maybe early 80s Les Paul copy. So it was like their cheaper version of a Les Paul, but so it was like a thin body with but the Les Paul shape, and had a really thin neck, like and I like a thin neck, like a short, short fretboard,
Mm-hmm.
So skinny neck, and it was sort of promoted at the time as like a Carlos Santana guitar, and it originally would have like a 6-way chicken head selector switch, so you could like have all these different like pickup options, 2 humbuckers, and you could go single or out of phase or single pick, or a lot kind of high tech for the time.
Yeah.
But the one that I think the one I had didn't have that. It was just a 3-way selector switch, like a Les Paul. You had one pickup, neck pickup or bridge or both.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I love it. I still have it. It's a great guitar.
Awesome.
And it's all black, but it wasn't like the SG sound that I loved. So I think I went from that and then got a Firebrand SG from Black Market, which was kind of the guitar that I had. I had a friend whose older brother had one in high school, and when we would jam, sometimes it would just be there at the at the house, and if no one was looking, I'm like, all right, I'll just go play this, and I loved it. And so I found one of those at that Black Market, gear shop.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then that became my main guitar for a lot of years. But even like the Model T head, that was something that, Sun wasn't quite as a known entity, or at least wasn't as highly, sought after or expensive. So even that head, I remember I found in Orange County, like off of like the recycler or something, for like $500. And I think those things go for now like $4,000.
Oh,
but back then, to find one of those was for that price. So that was that original, Wives guitar sound was, a Model T through a 412 with the Firebrand SG with the fat boost.
Oh, that's amazing.
Pretty simple, but it still works. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I learned, and I was able to put that together on the cheap from going to college. And then I don't even think that was like, amoeba money yet, but maybe, what I mean? But just working part-time jobs and just saving up and spending exactly like eating ramen or a pack of veggie dogs for, make that last for a week.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like those are those moments where, I mean, cause I think even when I started playing with Chris and I had this horrible Fender, just like solid state red knob, like combo.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no, you can't, that's, and I'm like, no, it's fine. It's good. And he's like, no. A, it's not loud enough. But B, that's not, no.
Doesn't look good.
You got to go to
tubes.
And I'm like, okay, but I have no money. And then, we found out his buddy Jeff had a Sovtech MiG 60, but the tubes were blown on it. So good. I went and got new tubes. And
what did you pay for it? Do you remember?
The tubes?
No, you just had to.
No, so I borrowed it. So I got to borrow it indefinitely if I fixed it.
Got it.
And I fixed it for like $130 or something.
Oh, amazing!
I don't know.
And that was it for the run. It was a borrowed thing, and then
I had that until we quit.
I mean, that time you quit, and it was
It got given back. It's a little point of contention.
Part of the breakup. Part of the settlement was like, oh,
yeah. Man. Yeah. I don't know if it actually got given back or if it got someone kept it in a closet somewhere. But
it's not yours.
Whatever it is, it's not in my closet.
It wasn't your thing. Yeah.
I wish it was, because now, and remember that time where I was sending you those texts and I was like, dude, there's a MiG 60 for like $350. We should go in on it. And then I was like, nah, I don't need one of those. And now they're like $750, $800 minimum.
Still not bad. I kept sending them to you, and eventually I realized you were never going to pull the trigger. I was like, no, I won't keep torching you. You don't need. They're loud as hell too. That's it.
Oh
you gotta have
if I had
play
a place
somewhere and you can play loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. But those.
But I went to Black Market because I didn't have a cabinet. So I'm like, oh, well, now I have to spend real money on the cabinet. So I went to Black Market.
For a borrowed head with repaired tubes, so you're in for the $100 for the tubes, and now you got to buy a 412.
But at this point, we're not even really a band, and I'm like, dude, this band is going to last for 4 months. We have like 2 songs, and I didn't even like have my right tuning. It was, sure. I was like, I'm spending all this money to do what? and all this money at that point, like $300 was like, I don't have 300. So then,
especially
I went
on something
Black
you don't
Market.
even know if you're that into doing. I mean, $300 for your passion for the thing you commit your life to. You're like, well, I could figure out how to make this happen. But if you're not even sure if it's a thing, then it's like, that's a lot of money.
I mean, I had like thousands of dollars of camera equipment, but
exactly.
I was trying to make that my job.
Which you would have to re-up all the time too. You'd have to get new stuff or stuff would get broken.
Just fix stuff. And
you had to have a fund for your job.
Totally.
Hobby. This is your non-job hobby. It's harder to.
Yeah. And so I went to Black Market. And because I didn't even know, also, like, I had no idea of sound. I had like a Epiphone Special, which is that $100 Epiphone.
Yeah.
And then I went to Black Market, and they had all of the 412s, and I was just like, oh, $600 or $500. The cheap ones were maybe $400. And I told him, I was like, I don't even know what kind of sound. It just needs to be loud. And he's like, funny you would say that. So we've had this slant cabinet. We don't know. It's got like a full bolted on back. We know it's really heavy, like the actual, physically heavy. So it has huge magnets, whatever speakers
I'm 25
are in it.
And with a 25-year-old back, I could make that work. That's not.
But he's like, whatever speakers are in it, they have magnets that are heavier than most magnets. Good and sound. This one keeps getting rented out for recording sessions just because of the sound. Like, people like the sound of it for whatever reason, but it has nothing on it. Even opening it up, the magnets don't even have like a brand or whatever. $125. And I'm like, sold.
Deal.
And I had that for 12 years, and I had to replace one speaker once.
Wow.
I had it for 12 years.
It was awesome. That's the kind of stuff that, like I said, being the kook at the guitar shop, the kid coming in like, I don't know. But if you're a salesman in these used, instrument or used gear shops, you knew how to sell. Like you said, like, get a vibe on the person. Like, okay, what's their budget? What are they doing? We need to move this off the floor to make room for something that will actually
just tell them everybody keeps trying to rent it, or tell him it was just in an amazing recording session or whatever.
Wasn't there something about Jimmy Eat World? Was that your story?
No,
like somebody bought something from Jimmy Eat World at at Black Market. Somebody told me this.
No, wait, I've heard this story before. Maybe you told it. For someone else. Maybe someone else's story. But then the other thing is like, well, what kind of distortion pedal are you using? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you got to start with the Rat. And I was like, okay,
not bad, right?
$50.
I need to.
He threw it in for $50, like this used Rat. And again, I still have
it. Major day.
And so I went through so many distortion pedals over the years. I had these 3 that I got for trading photos to my friend James from Australia that were like these handmade pedals. And I had those for a little while, and it just never really worked. And I always only had a Rat and a Big Muff. And that was it, right next to each other. And the Rat would go through the Big Muff. And then I would bring things in and out all the time, and then I had a delay, like a digital delay, at one point, but that was it forever. Wow. Yeah,
it's not a bad setup,
but it was those people at the used spots that were just like you said, it's like, okay, how much do you have? $200. Okay, I'll get you out the door with a Rat pedal that might work. It works for the most part, and a cabinet. And then I went back in there multiple times and
you were in love.
Got little things, and
it was a win-win situation because you didn't feel ripped off because that was in your range and it sounded good. Just like, they could figure out who the dentist was walking through the door, like, oh, you need this, $3,000 whatever it is, it's like they're not gonna sell you. But that's the thing, but they got to get that stuff off the floor. Somebody's stuff comes in, you just got to find the right guy, who's curious enough, and the right person who can move it around. Like, you start to profile, totally. It's like having profiles in marketing, what's our profile? Who's this gear for? But I love that. And I think that's the stuff you really lose in an online sort of thing. It's like you're buying, person to person, and you're just like, I don't know, is this good? Is it not good? How do you research it? You want to play it. You at least want to make a sound through it before buying it. And it's just hard to do, You take a lot more chances, and you don't really have that one-on-one experience of like, okay, the guy from the cool guitar place is vouching for this. I'll give it a shot.
Totally.
This could be good.
And most of the time, those got the people working there were in bands, or you'd walk in there and be like, oh, I saw that guy playing at Silver Lake Lounge last night.
Yeah.
Or
Lords of Altamont.
Hungover.
Remember that guy worked at Black Market. Do you remember that band Lords of Altamont?
Yes.
They had like an organ, and he would put a little tint or a little aluminum foil tray on the front of the organ and put lighter fluid in it and set it on fire. Yes. So you'd have this flaming organ playing. They were kind of just like pirates or bikers from the 30s.
Of course they were.
Yeah.
God, those were the days.
Of course. Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah,
that's so
man.
funny.
Speaking of like borrowed gear too, I remember George Chen, who I think was a guest. I had him on here earlier on the podcast. He played in KIT and I think a few other bands, but I remember he had a broken like 60s SG with a P90 in it. And I think it literally was like the headstock was just, or the neck, it like broke at the neck from the neck to the body. So he had the neck and he had the body, and he was in Oakland. And so we'd always stay with him on tour. And I remember like, I don't know how many times staying there and just seeing it. And I was like, what are you doing with this guitar? He's like, I don't know. And then I did the thing. I was like, okay, well, if I can get it. And I had found a guy that could fix guitars for relatively not that much money. And I was like, okay, I have a guy who can fix stuff. Like, can I just take this with me and I'll get it fixed? And whenever you want it back, you just tell me you want it back, but I'll just play it. I'll fix it and then just play it until you want it back. And he said yes. And it was great. And I had it for probably 2 or 3 years. I got it fixed for, probably $60. And it was this great 60s, SG with this real honking P90 on it. And again, it was great. I don't think I even understood it. You know what I mean? I just knew I loved SGs, but that's a whole different kind of animal than SG right there. But it was fun. It sounded great. It was awesome.
Awesome.
And then there was hey, do you still have that guitar? Like, of course I do. It's right here. I'm like crying. Like, oh no.
Like, which guitar are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm losing you. I can't hear you.
But no, I was happy to give it back to him.
Awesome.
I got, again, for $60, I got to play a rad guitar for over a year. And that was worth the trade. And then he got a guitar fixed. That wasn't, he wasn't going to get it fixed anyway. So
yeah, that's the best. I mean, what's the, I'm blanking on the name of the guitar shop that is now in Highland Park.
Future?
Yes, Future Music.
Yeah, Jack from Future used to work at Black Market. I remember talking to him about
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
He's a great story.
Oh my God. I love, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's great. And I went in, like, I got the weirdest, it was like an Epiphone Les Paul double cutaway with P90s. And it was the weirdest guitar, but I love,
Sounds fun.
I got it only because I loved the way it looked. And then I was like, what are these?
Was it a Sunburst?
No, it was just like kind of reddish.
Oh,
I don't even know what years it was, like probably 90s. I'm sure it was 90s, late 90s. But because I had that Epiphone Special, which was basically just made out of balsa wood. But for some reason that Epiphone Special I got in like, I want to say 1995 maybe. And something about the humbuckers that were in it were amazing. And it was this really light. It was like the lightest guitar ever. And the problem that I had with it was when I actually played that in the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 years of Sabertooth Tiger, and we played at the, oh God, I'm forgetting, what's that little bar on Sunset? The 31. No,
Three of Clubs.
Three of Clubs.
Yeah.
Yes,
Santa,
I knew there was
Santa
a three
Monica
of
and Vine.
Santa Monica and Vine, not Sunset. Three of Clubs. And you know how you play in that little, there were the stairs, the little carpeted stairs,
back
and we're like down below.
Yeah.
And I just took it off and like, I'm like, oh, it's carpet. So I just like didn't throw the guitar, but just onto the stairs. And of course, the both the pickups just landed right on the corner of the stairs.
Oh, just smashed in.
Oh yeah, just all the way, like smashed them into the back of the guitar because it was just it was just balsa wood. It was like this really thin laminate, like plywood, whatever. It's like a double, and so I was like, oh, I gotta get a new guitar, and then I got that weird double cutaway because I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like mine, but it looks cooler. But then I didn't end up really liking the P90s.
Yeah.
But I got that at Future, and they were the best. Like I, went in there a couple times, and they're like, "You keep coming in, buddy." And I'm like, "I know." And they gave me like, I don't know, we'll knock 20% off of it. I'm like, all right, cool, it's great.
Yeah,
I will always come in here to get strings or whatever. And that's where I got when you got me to get that Firebrand, or you suggested that. That's where I went in and got it all set up and cleaned up and stuff.
Yeah, It's great. It's part of it's awesome. It's community. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those are and he'll tell you Radiohead stories, like if you like tell me more awesome. About the last time that Tom York came in. Well, it was only a couple weeks ago, actually. I found this old processor of the blah blah blah, and Johnny was calling me. Yeah, it's funny. I love it.
Yeah, that's what you need. That's what you want from a guitar shop, especially in Los Angeles. And you realize just the amount of gear and people that come through here, and we don't have bad weather either. So I think I forget about that part of the story of Los Angeles and just buying vintage or used things here, is the weather is relatively stable. I remember I had a friend from Philadelphia out here staying with us, and he was just like, look at the cars. Like those cars are just immaculate.
No rust.
Because he was just saying, he's like, no, like you don't understand. Like the salt in the winter just eats these cars from the bottom up. Things are just rusted through. Like you never see
that's funny.
The amount of cars just cruising on a Sunday. That you see just driving around the greater Los Angeles area. It's disproportionate to the East Coast.
Yeah. Well, I never thought about that really affecting guitars and electronics and all that kind of stuff, but it would totally have to.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're out there gigging or whatever, and stuff's just getting wet or moldy. We don't even deal with mold here.
Yeah, just like sitting in the basement for a year of like slightly getting a moist basement.
Yeah, exactly.
Electronics and moist
it'll
basement.
Eat through stuff. Yeah, it'll short things out. I remember there was a great guitar tech guy in West Hollywood who looked like he was just off the road with Motorhead, was about to go out with Motorhead again, or or something. He was ready. He had was on the Van Halen crew and now just works for Motorhead or so. But in his we had one of those little apartments, right over off like La Cienega and Sunset, and it was amazing. It just smelled like cigarettes. He's had like a giant hubcap on his coffee table, just filled with 400 butts of cigarettes, and then just a wall of Marshall plexis that he was either fixing or selling or doing something with or repairing, and everything was and then a pile of road cases over in the corner that were propping up his dinner table or something, and it was all just Jack Daniels and Budweiser's. There was no dinner that ever got eaten there. I think it was just coffee, booze, and cigarettes. But the guy was just grizzled, just looked like some kind of Viking biker guy. But he was great. He was cheap, and he'd repair tube amps. He was a tube amp guy from back in the day.
Lunch and dinner at the Rainbow. Every day.
Yeah. Screwdriver at noon for breakfast.
And chicken piccata in the evening, and that's it.
Yeah. And then for dinner, it was a Bloody Mary. And some French fries at 2 a.m. they found on the floor while loading happened.
Or you just know waiters and waitresses at every single place. So
right. Just bring you something
once a week. Yeah.
You have your rounds.
This is the best. I love those people. And I think that Matt even talked about this, where he's like, well, listen, you never lose if you never quit.
Right.
If you don't quit,
in life in general.
Yeah.
As a career, it becomes a life. Yeah. It becomes a career.
Yeah. And I love the all in. I do love the all in. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, if I'm still doing this, what else would I be doing?
Yeah. There is no plan B. This is it. Literally it.
No, this is 100% in, and he's jumping from thing to thing. And I mean, that was our last drummer, Dave Ferreira, with Sabretooth, that he played in 4 other bands. Mm-hmm. And he also was the touring band for Herman's Hermits.
Amazing.
Which, for 15 years or something. So he had traveled all around the world, every single 3 days a week. He was on the road, getting flown to a casino, and then whatever, a festival and a summer festival, and then they'd go to Europe for a couple of weeks, and he got enough freaking flyer miles that when we went to Australia, he just went for free. He's multi-million miles club guy. But he was that was him. He was in 3 metal bands, and he was touring and recording and playing with us from time, when we weren't playing that much, but anytime we'd have a show, he'd figure it out. But man, he was just drumming every single day.
That's great, right?
Yeah.
That's the dream.
Totally.
That's part of it, for some people's dreams.
Mm-hmm. He loved it. He's an amazing drummer. He could play anything, absolutely anything. And like, even on all of those, like he was playing, because, we had those songs we played with John Theodore, and he's like, all right, cool. Yep. We just learned them all and was like, oh, wow. Okay. You're like the real deal drummer. And then we went to watch his metal band and like, like full, like jaw on the floor, double bass, just like the heaviest, fastest, brutal. Yeah, it's amazing. He's amazing.
How fun. That's great. Wait, how'd you guys play John Theodore? I don't think I know that story.
Oh, well, our friend, so I met him when he first moved to LA. So he was roommates with a friend of ours, and then Aaron Garcia played drums with us at the very beginning.
That's what I remember.
And we had recorded, I want to say 5 or 6 songs with Aaron, and we had recorded with Manny.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then Brother Reed started taking off, and so he was like, I'm doing Brother Reed, and so we were trying to finish. We had like 2 more songs to record, and or 3, and was just talking to John, and I think it was the last Mars Volta record he was on. They recorded drums first in that band, so he had recorded the whole album, and he's like, I got like 5 months off, or whatever it was.
Well,
I actually saw
the rest of the album.
Yeah, well, they take what he started with, and then they build the songs, and then and I actually saw him. We were talking at a Hot Snake show at the Troubadour, and he was like, yeah, what's up? And it was like, well, Aaron, he isn't in the band anymore, and we're just trying to figure that out. And he's like, what, to record? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, man, I got like 5 months off, just tell me when. And I was like, wait, what? I wasn't actually asking.
By this point, he'd already been in Queens of the Stone Age, right?
No, this was before. No. This was because he was in, what was he in before? Hella? Was he in Hella?
No,
I don't know. In Baltimore, he was not Hella. Oh my God, I'm gonna forget but anyway, he had moved to LA, and he was in Mars Volta. So he had been in Mars Volta for however many, three albums, I think. But I mean, he was our friend Bruce. They were roommates, and that's how I just knew him that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but yeah, and then he was like, yeah, tell me when. I don't know. I got some time off if you want to do something. And then we talked to Alex Newport and just asked him if he had any time open. And actually, he cut like a week later, he was like, yeah, I got an opening for 2 days. And so we rehearsed with John, but he was like, we sent him the songs. He's like, yeah, I got it. But not even with drum, like with kind of drums. But then he's like, yeah. So we rehearsed one night, and we were like, oh, why are we here? Like, this is crazy. And then we went in, and he just like, it was like one take for both songs. And then, and we were in there just for one day, and it was awesome. I mean, John's like, he's the best guy. He's the nicest dude, and so generous with his time. And then so anyway, Alex had 2 open days, and we went in and John recorded the first day. And then the second day, half of the day, we just sat and listened to John's drums. We took all of our instruments out, and we just sat there and we're like, how is this like on our song? Like, the drums sound like jazz kind of. It's just insane. Like, he doesn't ever stop. It's like,
it's amazing. I just looked up his Wikipedia, and he was in Golden.
That's what it was.
Which are members of Trans Am.
Yes, totally. And okay, then, that's what I was mixing that up with Hella.
Yeah, and then are you ready to see some of the other discography? He played in Him and Royal Trucks, Will Oldham, Trans Am, Mars Volta. Oh, what is this band? Sabertooth Tiger.
Oh, we're on there?
Death Valley backed with Love Money for the GSL 12th anniversary single.
Yes.
And then also has listed Extinction is Inevitable LP 2006. And then you got Omar Rodriguez Lopez, Pucifer, Queens of the Stone Age. And then,
he played with Connor Oberst.
Yeah, Bright Eyes, Kurt Hammett. And then
he played with Zach.
Oh yeah, One Day as a Lion.
One Day as a Lion. That's actually a really good EP. It still holds up.
Yeah, why is that not on here? Maybe I didn't read all the way to the bottom. But yeah, that's it. You're on the Wikipedia.
We're on there.
You're on the Wikipedia page. Yep.
I guess Chris has been on their Wikipedia page. No, just kidding. But what was great about it that was a very random, thing, and then because of that, because John was on the record and he was still in Mars Volta at the time, then we talked to Sonny at GSL and he talked to Omar, and Omar's like, yeah, I mean, John's on the record. Yeah, put it out. That's awesome. And it was done. It was finished. It was mastered. And we were just going to burn CDs or make 500 CDs or whatever. And then Chris just ran into Sonny and they were talking about it. And then they were like, yeah, we'll pay for the artwork and manufacturing for whatever, 500. I'm sure. I don't know. They definitely never made their money back. But also Sonny did the artwork on, which was amazing. It was like an original Sonny K piece.
Super cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and for them, again, it's part of their body of work, and it's supporting, members' side projects of the band that does make all the money for the label.
Yeah.
So it's
for us, it was just like right place, right time, and then, but I don't know. I think that record's good. It's
but he never played live with you guys.
We never played live. I mean, we literally played in the rehearsal space with him for like an hour, and then we played, just recording for also maybe 2 hours. I don't know. Wow. He just knocked it out, and he had that amazing Vista light. Oh. Like amazing. Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome. Again, but really we were sitting there the whole time he was recording, and we're just watching it. I'm like,
was this with Manny also?
No, it's with Alex Newport.
Oh, okay. Well, see, there you go.
But then we found out later that it was because 400 Blows dropped out for those 2 days. And then, so I had to thank those guys. Like, thanks. And they were like, oh man, we could not get our stuff together.
That's hilarious. Was it in Venice, or where did he record?
No, that's when he was downtown in the brewery.
Okay. That's amazing.
But now he's out. I think Alex got a place and is out in Palm Springs or Joshua Tree.
He's somebody that I don't know. I probably should invite him onto the show and learn more about him. But I know he's friends of friends. And then I bought this Yamaha like 90s or 80s ass digital effects unit. It was cheap $100, but I was like looking for more rack gear for the studio, and so I bought it on Reverb, and then when I got the box, it was like there's a box from Alex Newport. I'm like, why is Alex Newport sending me a box? Like, I don't really know him. I don't really know anything. And I opened it up and it was the Yamaha 80s digital effects. And I was like, oh wait, I bought it from him. Like, you don't even know when you buy stuff on
that's funny, or
whatever it is, you buy these things. And then I was like, oh yeah, I did send him a note on the Instagram just to say, oh, hey, I think we have friends in common. I got the piece. Thanks for sending it. He wrote a nice note back like, oh, hope it brings you as much joy as it brought me. I'm glad it's in a good home. It'll be used.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he's great. His first band, his English grunge band, was Fudge Tunnel.
Such a bad name.
But but at the time, I guess it made sense. But if you listen to that, it's like good late 90s, like heavy. And then what was his band when he was in LA? I'm like completely.
Oh, I don't know. I know he did the At the Drive-In record, right?
He did a bunch, and he recorded with the Melvins bunch, and he's done a million projects.
Yeah.
I think Locust, he did a Locust record.
Okay. Death Cab for Cutie, Block Party. What do we got? Bleach. That's how I knew. From Jennifer and Jesse. At the Drive-In Via. Great record. In Casino Out.
Right.
Also great. and then Mars Volta. Which one's that one? I can't pronounce any of the names of the records. I don't know. but yeah, tons of stuff.
But what was his band? Go to his band Wikipedia.
Oh, the Icarus Line, Piss Jeans.
Yeah.
Mountain Goats. Melvin Stag. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. But his band, I don't know. I have to dig more.
My God. It was so good. Why am I? Well, I don't know. I know exactly why I'm not remembering.
Because you had too
my
much
memory
fun
is
recording.
fading. Yes, maybe.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun times.
But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I mean, just of that time though, I definitely feel like this is the Matt Cronk going back to the early aughts. I keep thinking as we're having these discussions, it's like, tell me, you lived through the early aughts in LA without telling me you lived through the early aughts in LA.
I saw Quee at 10 different venues.
Okay, there we go.
That's how I did. Yeah. And then also Matt I feel like Matt was one of those people that worked everywhere.
Right.
Like I would see him like
Bigfoot Lodge, for years.
He worked at the Bigfoot Lodge. I feel like, was he part of the Cha-Cha crew as well?
I don't know. Oh, well, that's what I was going to say was then, having the star band member of the band just come in for one record. And
totally.
Then, but with an already existing band, like John Theodore sitting with you guys. And I was like, oh, here's the band. Yeah. The stretch when Quee had David Yao joined as a third member.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's totally insane. And I know I've said this a million times, but we got to open up for them and Earthless in San Diego. And it was unreal. There were only it was packed, but it was I don't know, 150 people. And so you're sitting there watching David Yao perform and just he's the best. He just it's like you're watching someone in a trance. He's just in a trance the whole time. And he's funny. And then he's also just in this you're not even watching someone sing. He's just in a trance. But then in perfect Quee fashion, they came out and they started with their encore. So they came out and they all came out from the back at the same time, and they walked through the crowd of 150, I don't know, 150 people maybe. They walk through the crowd and they get on stage and they're like, "Thank you." And then they start and they play the song and then they leave. And then everyone's like, "What?" And then they come back and then they played the whole set. And then it was the reverse encore. They played the final set. Yeah. But it was, I don't know. I think that's the only time I saw them with Yao singing.
I never saw them with him in the band.
But it just was I remember sitting there. And also then Earthless was next, and Earthless was just Mario on drums and just was unreal as well. So I don't know what that would be like though, to have your band that you started with your buddy, like your friends. It's not like the two of them were also in big bands. It's coming in to start like a super group. It's like you have someone that you recorded one song with, and then he's like, "Can I be in your band?" Basically, it sounds kind of like that's what happened, which kind of makes sense. He probably was just like, "Yeah, this is fun. I miss this. Let's go."
Yeah. Oh, I looked up his other band, Nail Bomb, with Max Cavalera from Sepultura.
Yeah. There's that one, but then there was a band he was in just in Los Angeles too. Anyway, if you actually interview him, there's a really funny story about Nail Bomb.
Okay.
Because he recorded a Sepultura record.
Oh, okay.
And then but it's funny.
I remember being a kid in middle school. I remember people like, "No, it's Sepultura, bro. It's not Sepultura. It's Sepultura." You don't even know how to say it. Okay, you're right. I don't. You caught me.
Where are they now?
They're saying Sepultura somewhere.
They're still telling everybody that they can find.
Bro, you know it's Sepultura.
Yeah,
say it right.
They have the sign outside the concert.
Your emphasis is wrong. Syllable,
bro.
Syllables
are completely incorrect.
Oh man, I did not get to put. Oh no, I did put something new on our audio board.
Ooh,
I need to do more sessions.
It's like, what do I need to breed for? I'm just sitting by the river. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I love that. I swear to God, I can eat this thing. Okay. I love it because I have no context of when I said any of that stuff. This is great. I love it.
Of course not. Yeah. And then these things don't just happen. There you go. Classic.
It's true. That is a classic. Yeah. It's a classic Randy right there. It's like, what do I need to breed for? I'm just sitting by the river. That is.
This is going to come in handy. I know.
Yeah, for some reason. That is true. Whenever I'm sitting by the river, I do think that.
What do I need to breed for? I don't need to breed for any reason. Oh my gosh. This week's show, I have coming up with an interview with Robert Schwartzman from Rooney, who just directed a new documentary about the British band, psychedelic band, or British pop band, the Zombies. It was really fun. I've been going deep into the documentary world. I've been watching some documentaries, but it's out now. Zombies. It's called Hold On to a Dream. No, Hang Up on a Dream. Hung Up on a Dream. Oh my God. Hung Up on a Dream. Story of the Zombies. It's playing in theaters everywhere. But yeah, Robert Schwartzman. He's an interesting character as well. I kind of came into it from the Zombies angle, and then I was like, oh wait, he's a musician also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rooney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember. Sure you have some stories of Rooney hanging out at the A House.
They had some hits.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I have some. I feel like a lot of those people were cousins and of other people.
Probably cousins of Maroon 5.
Of Maroon 5, but also of Phantom Planet, right?
Oh right, yeah, I think so.
I think they were
a relatable world.
Yeah. And the Jason Schwartzman also having his band that had some good hits.
Phantom Planet?
No, Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
No, but he had his own. Oh. He had his own like. We should also have the little Wikipedia. Like Randy searches Wikipedia. Dun, 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 dun. We'd play the Star Wars bar theme song.
That's what I need to put on. Yeah, that's our next one. That's what I put on here. Phantom Planet, and then he
had a great record. So
Coconut Records.
Yes, good record, really good record.
Yeah.
Anyway. I feel like Rooney was happening at that same time, right?
I think so.
Like the same kind of like world of people. I did get to shoot Phantom Planet once. I think I told you this for one of those MySpace secret shows.
Oh wow, how was that?
It was awesome. It was really great. Yeah. It was. I don't remember where it was. It was in some town. It wasn't in it. It was not in LA, and it was in like this little town, and it was packed. It was like those little. They put big bands in little venues.
Oh right, yes.
And it would be first come first serve, and so it'd be all the kind of hardcore fans that would like line up for the whole day to wait to get in, and so those shows were awesome because it really was people that were willing to stand in line for like 14 hours and wait.
Oh my God.
And so every single one of them, there was never a bad show.
No cell phones to look at while you wait in line for 14 hours.
Yeah,
either.
It was before that. And then like I shot Phoenix in cool. Like some little time. I mean, maybe I feel like Phoenix happened and there was almost a tornado. Like it would have been the weather was really crazy. And then like shot Ween in where was Ween? I don't know. I don't remember. But in a little tiny town, and Ween was like there were like 2,000 people outside, and it was in a little bar, and they let like 250 people in, and so then in perfect Ween fashion, everyone just stood outside the bar and was like, "Hey, you guys just open the doors so we can just hang out?" And so then everyone was just drinking in the parking lot, hanging out, listening to Ween. But anyway, Phantom Planet was one of those, and I was the same. I was like, "Oh, this is like that California band, whatever." Like the California.
Sure. Yeah.
And but then when they played, it was awesome. Yeah, it was great. I don't know. I mean, the musicianship was unreal. There was just really good musicians, and it's fun to listen to pop songs when they're done well, I think.
Totally. Well, that's where we kind of see like the stuff with different, those kind of lines between like underground sort of noise punk things and then like real just pop stuff. You're like, oh, okay, you guys are just a pop band. This is great. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just it's like, oh, right, that's why you guys have a record label and money and girls.
Yeah.
And then we all smell over here playing at the smell, and we literally smell.
Yeah.
Broke. Like, I see.
But also amazing and fun. But yeah, I was very lucky to be able to shoot a lot of those MySpace, those secret show things.
Where are they all now? Where's all that footage? Or where's all those photos?
I mean, I have. Yeah, I don't know.
You have them?
No. I have them. They come up from time to time. I get hit up from people from time to time that worked there. I'd be like, "Hey, do you have that photo you took of me and Pusha T?"
Like, oh yeah, let me fire my Pusha T hard drive.
It was actually Louis. I have a Louis Farfan and Pusha T next to each other, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
But a lot of just
who owns
like
MySpace
Matt and Kim.
Matt and Kim, of course, yeah.
In Vermont. Mm-hmm. I shot them in a bar or like an all ages type space in Vermont, and have like some amazing photos of Kim like crowd surfing, but standing crowd surfing, like walking along the crowd. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, wait, MySpace still exists. Did you know this?
Does it? MySpace. I feel like didn't Justin Timberlake try to buy it like somewhat recently? And
I remember hearing this.
I feel like
there's a picture of Keith Morris from Coachella
on the cover of MySpace.
On the cover of MySpace, yeah. What year is this?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Now you got me looking at MySpace. You're gonna screw up my algorithm.
Yeah. I think I'm on your top 5 friends, bro. Don't take me off.
Oh my God, he really is on.
These are all like music things,
and it's like Doechii.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, she's an amazing LA rapper right now.
Maybe your photos are here. Wait, how far back can you search MySpace?
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard right up front.
Yeah.
I don't know. Search.
They've doubled down on their music coverage. It looks like it's all music coverage. Are these like stories? I guess these are stories.
I don't know.
Hey, everybody, go to myspace.com. Sponsor of
Do I want to accept all cookies from MySpace?
Yes.
That's kind of crazy. Should we just put in secret shows and see if anything shows up?
See what happens. I have no idea. I've not looked at MySpace in a decade.
The funniest thing is I don't think that I ever secret shows. No,
it's not happening.
There's
did they take down everyone's old profiles?
Oh my God. Would it be amazing if you looked and it was still there? Like the no age MySpace?
Oh no. Wait, no, I don't think we ever made one I think the MySpace was before that.
Well, you guys are on here.
We are?
No age, 34,000 something. Your music is on. Oh, you can like play your music on here.
Oh, that's nice. I'm sure we see money for that.
No Age performs Eraser on the Late Show. It went.
Oh my God!
Right to YouTube.
Wow. Okay, sure.
My Hot Rabbit.
Oh, that's a fun song. I have stories about that one. But I don't get this.
They're just playing music.
This is just a music radio station. This is a thing. Like all of our records are there.
It says the Eraser album has 359,000 plays.
Oh, well, shouldn't that mean something?
I don't know. When I clicked on it, just that YouTube clip came up, so I don't know what that means.
Okay. Well, it seems
experimental lo-fi drum and guitar duo No Age are Dean Splint and Randy Randall.
With all of the I think these are just the Sub Pop records. I don't think any of the
That's so funny.
Any of the Drag City. We got to get on Drag City. Ask them if they can upload all of our records.
Get us on MySpace, bro. What kind of label are you?
Hey guys, just checking in on our MySpace numbers here.
Yeah, MySpace numbers are kind of huge. They're kind of getting up there.
Can I get some? We have 34,000 people.
34,000 friends. What is like more mean? Than like? How do we have more friends on MySpace?
I think the photos are all dead links though. There used to be photos. There's no photos.
That's funny though. That they must have just that. The crazy thing is that means there's still people that work for MySpace,
right?
Like your job. Like, what do you do? Like, oh, I work for MySpace. Like, no. What do you really do? No, I do music supervision at MySpace right now in 2025.
That's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
I guess, yeah, but there's all these dead links.
That's funny.
Yeah, I guess. Who knows? Okay, that's what this. I think
let's try to buy MySpace. I got an idea.
I think we're just going to turn this into a MySpace wrap-up show. This is just going to be our MySpace. MySpace just pays the last 10 minutes of the halftime show.
Oh my God.
We just have to go find things on MySpace.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite old, vintage websites is Flickr.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you ever go to Flickr anymore, but man.
Is it still around?
Oh, yeah.
I remember
there's
that.
No E. Let's see. Oh, yeah. It's the best place to be a photographer online. I don't know if you knew that.
Still. It was, yes, I did love Flickr. Although I feel like I was a little bit old. Like the younger,
I see.
The younger photographers all had Flickr and I never, I wasn't social enough. For Flickr? I never understood I never understood it. But then I know that a bunch of people that were just like 3 or 4 years younger than me, Flickr was the thing. And then that was how they uploaded all their photos. And that's how everybody found their stuff. And
right. Yeah.
And they would start full pages for other things and get popular for that. And I was still just on my blog.
Just me on my blog.
I was updating my website.
Hey.
I think I need a new website, guys.
Flickr wants me to sign up. I can't sign up for Flickr right now.
No. I'm on a podcast.
Guys, come on.
Guys, come on. I just need one click. One click. Let's go. That's a good one. You can get that one out. Just one click, guys. One click.
That's it. Come on. 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
All right. God. Well, we did it.
How's the family? Did we go for a whole hour?
Yeah, we did it. We wasted an hour. Yeah, we're all good. We're family. It's what family does. Saw a deer hoof the last weekend.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I was going to talk about it, but I was too tired last time. Been going to see some shows. Saw some Jesus Lizard. Saw some deer hoof live.
That's awesome.
I was tired. I slept for like 2 days after.
I realized I never really listened to Deerhoof.
Oh my God. So good.
I think there were so many deer bands that came out at the same time. They got lost in the mix for me, but it did make me, I do get all of my music recommendations from your previous podcast.
Oh, good.
The day, like the Thursday. I'm like, ooh, I have Deerhoof on my playlists.
Yes.
And Maggie's bands. I had all of her stuff.
And the related ones.
Also made me.
Yeah, go listen to Deerhoof. Was that Milkman? What was it called? Just Milkman? Do you not know that record? Oh my God.
No. I didn't know any of their records.
If you were to start with someone, Milkman. Oh my God. That was the height of it for me. I mean, I know they have a million other good albums before and after that, but for me, that was sort of the height of my Deerhoof fandom. I was bummed they didn't play.
What do they like live?
That insane. Greg is this wild drummer, kind of almost like a Zach Hill type or like a Chippendale almost, but in a jazzier, sort of more song structured way, but just hits it so hard. And then John and Ed, 2 guitars, now that they've kind of really leaned more into their Thin Lizzy sort of harmonized thing when I saw them on this last show. And then Satomi plays bass and sings. And so it's kind of like, broken English, sort of high pitched Japanese lead vocals.
Yeah.
And lots of stops and starts and melodies and catchy parts and just almost like a math rock moments, and then with like these kind of Baroque or sort of Latin sort of breakdowns, and then spooky, and then heavy, and then soft. All the things,
that's awesome.
All those things that would be considered dynamics in a band, I think they do well, and just minimalized, and then super complicated and fuzzed out, and then tight. So tight,
and then loose,
and then
tight.
So I think they're one of the tightest bands I've ever seen. I've seen them a bunch over the years, and we've played with them, and it's always one of those things like whatever I think. I remember when playing with them, and it's like whatever I think I'm doing, when I think I like nailed it, and then you watch them and like, no way, that was like a football field away from nailing anything. It was such a nailed it kind of band. Just like that's what you call music. No, that's what awesome. I call music compilation featuring just all Deer Hoof.
All Deer Hoof all the time. That's
what I meant to do. Or you like read a quote from somebody, from like Mark Twain. You're like, yes, just say it. Yes. That's how language works. That's someone who can say a phrase. Cause I'm out here fumpering and umming and ahhing and everything. You're like, why can't I just say it like that? Simple, punchy to the point, just to fucking take you out of your shoes with like 2 words. You're just like, God damn it. I'm over here.
Yeah.
Sketching the pattern. I'm still drawing with sticks in the ground, and it's like, boom. I'm like, okay.
I just always feel like I have a cloud floating around. It's like a cloud. I'm trying to grab one word at a time, but most of them I can barely see. It's like driving through the fog, and I'm like, I don't know. I'll get there at some point, but it's not going to be pretty.
That Rick and Morty episode where Morty has the crystal in his head that tells him only the right things to do. It like gives him a vision of the future, but only like 5 seconds at a time. Or he knows all the options. Like if I go to this coffee shop, I'm going to meet the woman I fall in love with. But then as he's talking to her, like each word, it's like he starts to say one word and then it's like, oh no, she dies in a car crash. Wait, hold on. Okay, I need, you are beauty. So every word it becomes granular to where he becomes as like a Kira-like god being, like controls the entire world, but he can only talk in these very like slow, stuttered kind of moments. And then when he says it, like, yes, okay, that's it. And then each moment he just labors over because he's so afraid of messing up, but he manages to find a way to not mess up and just become a large mutated like nuclear weapon that just blows up the town.
I only wish I had that much power. My words,
or that much time to watch dumb Rick and Morty episodes.
I've never watched Rick and Morty. I should though.
I mean,
I know the kids always wanted. The kids always wanted to watch it when they were young.
Too young, yeah.
And then
it's a 16 and up kind of vibe.
Yeah, and then our friends who were like animation, like no, you should not. You're not letting them watch that, are you? I'm like, no, but I think they know all the characters, Pickle Rick and whatever.
Sure.
And they're like, they can know the characters. They should not be watching that show. I'm like, oh, got it. It's not because I don't watch cartoons.
Yeah, it's not because it's salacious or pornographic or anything, but there are moments of that. It's just very much tuned to this like cynical existential cynical sort of thing where I think they're deliberately trolling you as they're enticing you into the thing too. So you have to be like aware of its own meta. It's like making fun of its audience as it's enticing the audience. And I think the fandom is super toxic and just not fun.
Unaware.
Well,
or too aware of
it's the worst like comic book guy, kind of impersonators where just would be like we kind of be the Rick and Morty type of fan. But I think but I've read all kinds of great analysis or seen videos on YouTube that had good analysis of just that it was almost done on purpose, or like it's this type of thing where it's like if you say like smart things but make it seem like it's off the cuff, then like the audience goes along with you like, oh yeah, I know that's smart stuff, I'm smart too. It sort of makes you feel smarter by watching it, but you're not really any smarter. Yeah. You're just sort of like, become a more pretentious, impossible person to be around. So I think that's almost the worst part of it. Why I would say don't let kids watch it, because if they liked it too much or really got into it, you're like, oh no, don't be those people. Don't fall for the trap of it. It's good. It is smart, well written entertainment, but it's also not that kind of thing. Don't
wait till you're old enough to realize that if you actually act like that, it actually makes you stupid.
Right, yeah, or makes you seem stupid, makes you look stupid, yeah. but for a cartoon character based on like Back to the Future knockoffs, bootleg Back to the Future characters, it's pretty funny. But it's also now at this point it's so dated. It's like whatever 15-year-old references, so it feels like what's important. That it exists. Like knowing too much about it is just probably deafening. I'm sure people are cringing their eyeballs out now. Just me even.
But I don't know how much anything. We could get into a whole other podcast at this point. I was just introduced to Italian brain rot. Do you know about Italian brain rot? Oh my god! And Cappuccina Ballerina.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Cappuccina Ballerina.
Oh, it's amazing, right?
Yeah. But I feel like all of that stuff started with 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 Skibbity Toilet, opened the door or opened the toilet seat, as we could say, to all of the new oh wait, we just have to make things that don't have to make any sense.
Context.
They just have to be
less context, the better.
Non-contextual and repetitive. And then because I started watching it because I got a meme about it or whatever, and then some kids at school were saying tra-la-lila, tra-la-lee, tra-la-la, and I was like, what is it? So I have to search it.
Such a brain rot kind of worm. It definitely gets stuck in your head, and the more you see it. I've showed it to the kids. The kids love it too.
And I'm watching it with Lila, and I'm like, oh, this is so dumb. And then we start laughing.
Of course.
And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And she's like, yeah, I know. That's the point.
Bombadillo crocodilo.
Yeah, and it's in the Italian accent, but it's not like it's the crocodilo.
It's an AI. It's an AI voice. Yeah.
But then there's the AI version that's all of those things, but then it's in an AI 90s cartoon, like He-Man style.
Yeah.
And they're like surfing.
I have that saved to my phone. It brings me so much joy.
It really does. Yeah. And it ruins my life and makes my day at the same time.
Yeah. Did you guys find La Puissance Steve? Steve, Le Puissance Steve.
I don't think so. Okay. I will now.
We get lots of good songs. I have a saved folder. I think I've told you this. I have a saved folder on my Instagram of just stuff that I can show the kids.
Yeah,
because they're of an age and they want to know about these things, but I want to have that parental sort of curation thing. And so yeah, I like a lot of musical things. There's the stuff, I think it all comes from TikTok, where it's these like stitches where like one weird sound. There's one of like a frog kind of croaking, but in time. Yeah. And then someone put guitar to it, and then someone sang to it, and then someone put a horn section, then a harmony horn section, then drums, and then a thing, and it's great. Sad little frog singing along to this fun tune. It sounds like Herbie Hancock.
Oh, that's amazing.
I have a whole list of these things. I can tap you in if you want to be on the list. the kids get appropriate trade. I can get you in. I know a guy. I can get you in on this one.
Oh my God.
It's bad.
Yeah. Or like the lady yelling at the cop about her parking ticket last week, and she's like, I don't know, and then it's just metal dudes making it into speed metal, like it's amazing. This is the good part about the brain rotting internet, but that's like, this is like the Mad Magazine part of the internet that used to be like
the decline.
Magazines are supposed to be this, and this, and then you get like the Mad Magazine or whatever, or R. Crumb.
Yeah. Well, I like that we've reached a Hyphenate halftime after dark, after the 1 hour mark.
Yes,
if you can, feel free to tune out after the 1 hour mark. But if you're in for the memes, stick around for the memes here. We break down the dad memes. after the 1 hour mark.
Breaking down the dad memes.
Breaking down. Wait, can I even do that with this thing? Wait, how do I do it? Like,
it's like what do I need? I need to breed for it.
I need a whole.
I'm just sitting.
I need a whole stutter thing on this.
I have a sampler.
I have 4 or 5 samplers here. And then we're gonna load these things up here. We're gonna figure this out. We're basically gonna have our own Baba Booey machine here afterwards. Turn the halftime into a disco. Just drops.
Yeah. Halftime.
Hey, this could happen.
Yeah, let's go.
Don't think I wouldn't do it.
Don't forget that I have summer break coming up.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I need to get you on it. My life is nothing but sadness and summer breaks. So maybe we could time this up. We could synchronize this. We got real silly for the summer.
All right. Maybe we have to do an LA day.
Hyphenate. I want to say
Hyphenate halftime.
Hyphenate halftime. Silly summer 2025.
Yeah, let's go.
This could be coming, people. If you've made it this far, you know what you're here for. Awesome, man. All right, I will see you next week. Yeah, Robert Schwartzman, Zombies, coming up on Thursday.
Oh, I was gonna say that I got that on my Instagram feed. That movie like 2 weeks ago. I didn't even know. We're on the same algorithm.
Hey, I think we send each other enough dumb stuff online. I think eventually our algorithms sync up.
Yeah, and then I listened to the Zombies all week last week.
So good, right?
Yeah.
It's the time of the sea. I'm not going to sing it well.
Yeah.
What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich? Is he rich like me? That song is great.
So good.
Tell you what
I'm excited.
That's a great story. It's a great documentary. It's a great story. I don't know if it'll be out on demand soon-ish, but I think it's doing a theater run. But it's really good.
Awesome. Well, I need to see that one.
Pavement.
Need to see all the Pavement one, and what was the other one from like 3 weeks ago?
Oh, the Sonics. Sonics is out now. Of them. And Josh Erkman's A Desert. I guess this is kind of. Oh my God! This is slowly just turning into a film podcast. I think I just can't.
As it should. Film, music,
right?
Excitement, memes.
This is the whole
Italian
thing.
Brain rot.
This is what life is about. This is the good stuff.
Get everything on this.
I'm
podcast.
Pickle Rick.